Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by TJS Ceramic Studio, Posh Boutique in the Bridges at 57th, The Sky & Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire arts and entertainment conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
The countdown continues as this is episode 193. Just 7 more until we have a special 200th episode and a 4th anniversary in October. Now, earlier this year, I talked about a great program the Sioux Falls Arts Council has for artist microgrants. We start a new feature today as we will highlight a different recipient each week. That's coming up in just a few minutes before we get to our regular full conversations. Speaking of those, later in the show, we talk to new shining star of the Sioux Empire, actor, singer, dancer Betty Kay. Also today, we hear from another couple in theater, actor Autumn Leavitt and her husband, actor-director Logan Leavitt. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show.
Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party.
When and where you're drinking might depend upon what you are drinking, which might then determine what you're drinking out of. But no matter what it is, lift it up high to lasting friendships. My best friend Dakota, his wife, and their 4-year-old twins were in town for a day last week. They were able to spend some time at our humble abode. So great to see them get caught up, reminisce, be enthralled by how fun, playful, and polite the kids are. Grateful to see my friend doing so well and loving his life. We're more than just best friends. We call each other brother. To the point, he's told his kids that I'm Uncle Dave. The visit did my heart and soul well. While I toast to Dakota, Jen, May, and Miles, you toast to those in your life that are lasting friendships. The Weekend Eve Toast is brought to you by The Sky & Tea. The Sky provides all-caps fun, and that is best had with friends. Lasting friendships, too. Have fun playing darts or shooting pool. Have fun listening to great live music from local musicians, or have fun singing at karaoke. Need some extra room to hold a company party or a benefit? The Sky's back room fits the bill. No matter what's going on at the Sky, it's local and it's lively. Honorable mention. Oh, what put a smile on David's face this past week? Congratulations to the Premier Playhouse with the Penguin Project. Year 2 was equally, if not more successful for the program that allows actors of all abilities to be on stage. Each actor has a mentor that's on stage near them to help them if they need a prop or a prompt. They didn't need much assistance at all in Seussical Jr. last Friday night. If you haven't gone to this in the first 2 years now, make sure you make it part of your local theater next summer. Congratulations again. The Penguin Project at the Premier Playhouse. Later on, we hear from actor Autumn Leavitt and her husband, actor-director Logan Leavitt. Coming up, we speak with actor, singer, dancer Betty Kay. But up next, we hear from a Sioux Falls Arts Council microgrant recipient on the Dave Holly Hour.
Are you an artist? Need some funding to further your art? There's a great opportunity for you through a Sioux Falls Arts Council program. The Artist Microgrant program gives away several microgrants to local artists, no matter what art discipline you're in. Unlike more traditional grants, a microgrant is very easy to apply for. Go to artssiouxfalls.org If you haven't done so yet, create a listing on the Artist Directory, which is beneficial in its own way. Then go to the Artist Microgrants page and apply online. The process is simple. Find out more about the Sioux Falls Arts Council as well online at artssiouxfalls.org.
Welcome back, everyone. It's a unique time. You know, I always like to say it's always great to talk about, such a pleasure to talk about Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment. This is a new piece that we're going to be featuring each week about someone that is an artist that has received a micro grant from Sioux Falls Arts Council. And our first one to talk about what she received is Tenley Schwartz. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. Now, as I was reading a little bit about what you were hoping to use a micro grant for, was to actually get like a table saw and a miter saw.
Yes, yeah.
And I guess most people would right off the bat say, what do you need those for art?
Yeah, so they're for building these structures out of plywood and some 2x4s to actually paint on top of. So it's actually, once you have the tools, a lot cheaper to build your own frames.
Right.
Instead of getting a canvas.
Yeah, and then obviously you can go out and find old wood if you'd like, or, you can go all brand new, things along that line. So obviously the cost brings down the actual canvas that you're painting on considerably too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's really great once you have the tools.
Yeah, and you started doing this in college, but of course in college you actually had a place that you could do that, correct?
Yes. So I learned about how to make these structures and then graduated, realized, I still want to be making art. So this grant really helped me kind of get that jump on continuing to make art outside of school.
So do you have a home studio that you put this in?
I'm working on it.
Working on it, okay. Now, home studios can be a work in progress almost all the time. But kind of give us an idea then, because, we think of using a saw and so forth, and obviously you get a lot of sawdust, but yet you paint on these. So is it like a separate area that you're going to have for the saws versus all your artistic ability stuff?
Yeah, it fluctuates. I've had a saw that's set up in my dining room, and you just vacuum up the sawdust with a shop vac, you put it away, and then you get to painting.
All right, and obviously this was to make some bigger frames and so forth. So tell us, how big of a frame do you like to work with?
Oh, it really varies, according to how much time I have to work on a piece, whether I have a deadline or if it's just something that I'm working on for fun. So it's really, the sky's the limit.
Okay. What type of art do you like to do?
I do a little bit of everything. So I'll do some textile work. I'll do paintings. I do a lot of pen and ink, and I'll also do some digital work. So it all kind of runs together and influences each other.
Do you also do that together in different ways into mixed media type of work?
I do some mixed media, yeah. And my work always has a story attached to it. I've worked with these themes of belonging and really being rooted in a place. So those themes come out whatever the medium is.
What got you into art?
I've always made things. My family really encouraged creativity. I think I got my first sketchbook at the age of 7. And when you give a 7-year-old a sketchbook with really great paper and some really nice materials, she doesn't think to save them or be precious with them. So there's a lot of freedom that comes with that in practicing from a very young age. And I had a lot of support from my parents who said...
The parents didn't secretively hold on to any of them?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I think my mother has everything I ever did. But it's wonderful to find out that your micro grant that you received is going to great use. What do you see this micro grant program doing for other people?
I think it's just so great to have this in the community to show people that there is support for them. There are so many stories of people who graduate from school or are really wanting to get into art, but they don't really know where to start. But this is, kind of a sign where they can point to it and they can say, oh, there are people in this community who really care about art making, and they're willing to not only come look at it, enjoy it, but financially support me. And that's huge for anyone.
Yes, it
who's
is.
getting
Yeah,
into it.
whether doing it, I don't want to say as a hobby, because every artist wants a profession out of whatever their art might be. But by the same token, when you're working toward that, it's more than a hobby, but it is in need of financial assistance, isn't it?
Yeah, and this artist grant program just makes it a little more doable.
Yeah. How excited were you when you found out you got one?
Very excited. Yeah,
Did you go out and buy the stuff right away once you got the check?
I did.
Good for you.
Yeah.
All right. Tenley Schwartz has been with us, and this is the first of what you will hear on a weekly basis for the Sioux Falls Arts Council. Back in a moment.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics. We have thousands of classic vintage ceramic mold items and several new items too. TJS Ceramics offers classes through the Sioux Falls Community Education Program and special open studio nights every Thursday evening. Bisque, studio time, or finished custom items are available. Visit TJS Ceramics Studio in Sioux Falls today.
Helping women feel empowered and confident is what Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th does, while supplying high-quality clothing that fits your lifestyle, personality, and price point. Whether you want comfy and cozy, casual attire, or something for a special occasion, Posh provides quality, selection, and value. They carry sizes extra small to 3X and have something appropriate for any age. Feel empowered and get confident. Posh Boutique at the Bridges at 57th.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or xochiros.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
He's a bit flirtatious, but most of all, fun. Once again, here's Dave Hawley.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, yes, you have it memorized along with me, don't you? It's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment, and it's just a great thing to have new people on this show, fresh faces that have come along to the Sioux Empire in the arts. And we have one of those, and by gosh, it's a pretty good-looking face, too. Betty Kay, how are you?
Oh, my gosh, I'm so good. Dave Holly, how the heck are you?
Oh, I am the heck fine. Yes. I tell you, this is one of those great things, because the first thing that I saw you in was Independence.
Yes.
And such great people in that show.
That was amazing.
You know, anytime that Debbie puts her hands on something, and then you had Roseanne as the director.
Yes.
And everybody that was in that cast, including a wonderful lady that I've known for a quarter century now.
The woman, the myth, the legend.
Yes, Sarah Crosby.
Sarah Crosby.
Oh, my, she is something. So
she is.
Then what happens is like, wow, this gal's really good. You know, I'm thinking, can I have her on the show sometime? And then it's like, I'm trying to find you on social media and so forth.
Yeah.
Like, okay, just not coming up with anything. You know, I'd do the friends of friends stuff and all that, and basically stalking you, and it didn't come about to anything. So then you were in the latest Shakespeare in the Park. Yes, it was very, very good. Romeo and Juliet, of which you got to play more than one part.
Yes,
which is pretty common for anything from Bear Botkins.
True.
And I knew that you were going to be in it because that week I had Jana Fitzsimmons was on the show to talk about it. And so I was like, oh, cool, I get to see this person again. And I got to see a few others that I've seen that haven't been on the show. And, of course, you know, half of them have been on the show. And so afterward, it's like, I got to go talk to this gal. And here's Sarah Crosby talking to you. And I'm like, oh, good, this should be a decent introduction.
Yeah.
And so I come up to ask you if you would like to be on my show. And Sarah says, whatever he says, just do it. It's like, okay, well, that's pretty cool.
Whatever Sarah says.
Yeah.
Whatever Sarah says.
And then the great part of it was, You already knew her.
I did.
Yes.
I did. Yes.
So you graduated from the same
I did.
place she did.
Yes, I did. Stevens College, Columbia, Missouri.
Yes.
I love my alma mater. Sarah is on the board and graduated from there, and she saw me in a couple things at Auigust Summer Theater over in Iowa.
Oh, love Auigust Summer Theater.
Yes, as soon as she was like, "You're in Sioux Falls. We need to have lunch right now."
Yeah, she's great, and what an ambassador that she became for the arts when she moved here and started DAPA. One of the first times I had talked to her on the radio.
Yeah.
She told me, she says, the kids here are just as talented as kids in New York, Chicago, or Los Angeles. They just don't have the opportunities.
Yes.
And 25 years ago when we met, there weren't many people that had work around here in theater or the arts.
Yeah.
And now it explodes, and people, those dreams are coming true.
Absolutely.
And, yes, kids do still go off to Los Angeles and Chicago and New York. But they've usually, cut their teeth on everything here in Sioux Falls.
Right.
But so you met up with her because she also, obviously would go see things that were taking place while you were in college. And the one thing that she let slip that we don't know about yet is that not only are you an actor, she says you're a marvelous singer too.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So when is Sioux Falls going to get to hear Betty Kay, the songstress?
I'm so glad you asked.
Oh my.
Hold on.
You brought your calendar?
I have a schedule. I do.
Okay.
I do.
And it includes music?
It does. Okay, so this upcoming Sunday, the 13th, there is going to be for Breathe Bravely, which is an organization here that was founded by the marvelous Ashley Blumala, is having their backyard bash at the Leavitt.
Right.
And I'm so excited about it. Me, Ashley, and then Marin are going to be singing at the backyard bash. And
Excellent.
I'm so excited about it. She gave me a whole little blurb. Okay, so it starts at... Pause for me to read the details of this document.
I hardly ever edit. Seriously, I hardly ever edit. So just keep
edit.
going.
Yes,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be so much fun. So we're going to go on at, I believe, 3:00. And if this is wrong, I'll just, when I repost this, correct myself in post. But yeah, it's going to be all day. We're going to have face painting. We're going to have food. We're going to have activities. And then, of course, it's all a fundraiser for Breathe Bravely and the work that they do. Breathe Bravely is, for those of you who don't know, a nonprofit that is I work for the Singspire program, so I teach vocal lessons to students with CF. And the goal of it is yes, of course, we want to be good at singing, but more than that, it's about using breath as a tool to improve your life, right? And using it as a way to fuel your love of the art and also give you tools in your belt to have a better control of your presence and your body and your being. And it's so much fun. So if you can come out, please do. Hopefully it won't be raining like it is this week.
Very true.
Yes,
yeah. We cross our fingers and toes. Well, I got 9 of them, so it does quite work. But excellent. And so that's coming up. But what about beyond that then?
See, that's a really marvelous question. I don't know.
Have you auditioned for anything yet?
Well, here's what happened, Dave. Let me tell you what happened. So I was actually going to move to New York. That was in my plan for a long time, up until very, very recently. So I missed my window to audition for any of the things here, like the local, like the community, like the Premier Playhouse and Goodnight, because I didn't think I'd be here. But now I'm gonna be here. You guys are stuck with me. So
we're thankful for that.
I'm excited. I don't know. I'm gonna.
Sorry, New York.
I know.
Sioux
boo.
Falls wins.
I'm excited. And the wonderful thing about Sioux Falls that every single human being in the arts that I've talked to speaks so highly of this community is you want to do something, you can just do it.
Right.
Like you can create your opportunity to perform. So I don't know. I might be looking out for some things like that. You'll be the first to know.
Well,
I'll text you first.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And the other thing is, there's still plenty of auditions coming.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the fall. It's audition
Exactly.
season.
Yeah. So you've got the opportunity to get out there. But what do you think you do better? Are you a better actor or a better singer?
Goodness, I think I'm a better singer. I think I am good at acting because I'm good at singing. Like I think, you know what I mean? I think learning how to tell a story through song is what taught me how to tell a story at all. So, yeah, and I've definitely I have been being a loud human longer than I've been acting. So I've also honed that skill for a longer amount of time.
So when did the acting start?
So I did my first show, I say when I was 6, but my mother will say when I was 11, but I believe her because she was the one who was paying for the gas to go where we needed to. But I was in Charlotte's Web, and I was fairgoer number 4.
Oh, wow.
I had one line, and every single time I went out and said that one line, the audience was like, "Aww."
Oh, my.
And I was like, I need to do this forever. Yeah, exactly. So I caught the bug really young, and I did it all throughout high school and went to school for it, and now I'm here. So,
well, and we're thankful, like I said, because you've already shown your chops for acting. So now I can't wait to hear you singing.
I'm excited.
And I am too. Now, what about the two combined? Thoughts of any musicals or anything?
Like, in terms of, like, that I've done?
No, well, that you've done, but also, about some of the things that will be coming up. You're thinking about doing some musicals besides a straight play.
Yes, I know that the Premier Playhouse has Hair coming up next spring, which is such a chaotic and beautiful show. So I think I'm definitely going to go out for that. But in terms of, like, musical opportunities, there's one show that I would love to put on somewhere here. I did it this last summer at Okoboji. So maybe it's too close and too soon. But anyway, I mean,
not at all.
There's so many things in my brain that I just want to do. It's the problem is that there are only 7 days in the week and only 12 months in the year.
Yeah, I've always said it's the 24-hour thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
If there were 30, maybe even 29, might get a bit more done.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. So the bug started early.
Yes.
And you've been active. And tell me what Okoboji was like.
Oh my gosh. I mean.
And kind of give people an idea how that all takes place. Because I think, a number of us have been down there and seen things.
Yeah.
And so what's the process? How did you get involved in it first off?
So, through Stevens, the Okoboji Summer Theater is their like sister location. Mm-hmm. So my program, which was in the Conservatory of the Performing Arts at Sioux College, was a 3-year 2-summer program. And the first summer is you do something called STI, or they call it SPI now, Summer Performing Arts Institute. And you are on campus for X amount of weeks over the summer and just do theater all day, every day. Mm-hmm. My first summer was canceled because of COVID, but you also have the opportunity that first summer you can audition for Okoboji. You have to audition for Okoboji, but you aren't necessarily required to be cast, but your second summer is your Okoboji summer. So you're going to audition. The audition is like an 8-hour day. You do everything and callbacks in the same day. And then you are cast and you jump over to Okoboji for the summer. And so we're up there. I think they're closing their last show this past weekend. Mm-hmm. And boy, howdy. It's so much work, but it's so much fun. It's like 10-hour, 12-hour days. Yeah. You're in rehearsal for one show in the morning or during the day, and then you're running a different show in the evening. Yeah. And it's just a gorgeous campus, and the people are marvelous, and it's hard, good work. So, yeah.
You are the first person, other than myself and Woody from Cheers, that I've ever heard use "boy howdy." And I love that phrase. And
so
you might be the first female that's ever said it to me before me saying it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Howdy.
Man,
I don't know.
This is great.
Yeah, it's fun. My parents have a lot of eclectic vocabulary. I met someone the other day who didn't know what what's the expression? Anyway, it's a very Midwestern thing, I think, too. Because I'll go to Missouri and people are like, what? And I'm like, sorry.
Yeah, sure, you betcha.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Or when you mean no and you're like, yeah. Right. Exactly.
What's been your favorite role that you've had?
What a good question that is.
I get in one per conversation.
Yeah.
Get in one good one.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I've had a lot that have taught me a lot. It's like, what was my favorite to do and what was the most productive to do?
Okay.
I would say,
both questions.
Yeah, I would say my favorite was I did Rizzo in Greece. And that was a hoot and a half. That was so fun. That was at Okoboji, and this is a fun story. Can I tell you a fun story, Dave?
Absolutely.
So during the run of Grease, the second show, Okoboji runs for 7 days, or 8 performances, 6 days. Anyway, and second show, I fell on stage in front of the audience, opening the second act, dead center. It was a disaster. Probably my favorite theater moment of my career, to be honest. And I was like, ow, but whatever, shake it off. And then when I got back to campus the following fall, I was like, still hurts. That's not good.
Oh.
I had broken my foot.
No.
And did the whole summer.
Wow.
With a broken foot. Yeah. So
were you like icing it at night or anything? Or?
Oh, yeah. But you're in heels for 12 hours a day and dancing and up on the move. And if you're not in rehearsal, you're in the shop. So you're literally on your feet all day. So I was like, oh, my feet just hurt because I'm working hard. Right. Nope. It was broken. So anyway, my second favorite that I would say would be that fall. We did a show at Stevens called World Goes Round, which was a musical kind of review of Kander and Ebb. And I did it in my boot before I had surgery on my foot. I did it on my boot and it was a blast. Yeah. Crazy things happen in theater.
Show must go on. Yeah,
exactly.
Indeed.
Exactly.
What's the role that you are just itching for?
Oh God. I mean, pick a card, any card. I would love to do. Shoot. I'm super. One thing about me is I'm boring, so I'd love to do like an.
You're not going to tell me you're an
Elphaba.
Introvert, are you?
Okay, sometimes.
Okay.
A little bit.
I can handle sometimes. My wife was one until you get a couple of beers in her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or like you sit me at a table and we podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like I would say Elphaba, but that's like pretty basic. Everybody wants to be Elphaba and Wicked. I would love to be oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Oh, what's your rush, what's your hurry? You gave me such a fright. I think he was a ghost from Sweeney Todd. What's her name?
I can't think of it either.
Oh no. This is going to be embarrassing for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to be canceled. Because I don't remember her name.
So you missed out on the audition for Sweeney Todd then, didn't you?
I did. But I'm so excited to go see it because when for working at the box office at the Pavilion, I worked their shows this last season and we could hear them and they're fantastic. They're a phenomenal
Quite the group, aren't they?
Group of people.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited to go see it. I'm excited they're doing it. I can't wait to watch it. Yeah.
What do you hope becomes of your career as an actor, singer?
Man, I would, if you had asked me this like 2 years ago, I would have been like, I want to be in New York doing the thing on Broadway, right? But I think now I just want to make meaningful art. I just think I want to to do art that, not that some art doesn't matter, but I want to do art that matters to me,
right?
And I think that's why I like Sioux Falls so much, and something that convinced me to stay was that, like I said, I mean, you want to put on a show, you talk to the people at the place that you want to do the show at, and they'll let you do a show. Like it's so simplistic in the way that everyone is so supportive and willing to help you kind of create what you want to create. And so that's what I want, I think, out of my career, is I want to create art that matters to me and that might matter to other people, and to share that experience, I think.
Well, having been in Independence Inn with Monstrous Little Theater, that's the type of thing that they do. Yeah.
I love Monstrous Little Theater Company. I love Monstrous Little Theater Company. Brilliant human beings all around.
Yeah, and you're going to get something different than what you would expect each time.
Absolutely.
And it's also one of those that, they started, they've been at the book co-op. They were in the back room of Remedy Brewing one time.
Yes.
It's another great example of, as I've seen this, because I grew up in this area, and I've lived in Sioux Falls now for 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember coming up here as a kid, and about the only thing you did was you went to one of the theaters, as in movie theaters, and they had, community theater, but you really didn't know about it and so forth. Not being in town, and then you'd maybe go to the Coliseum for a concert, or you go at Christmas time for the symphony.
Yes,
and that was kind of it. And then to see how much everything has grown in this last quarter century is just mind-boggling. And we've already got 20 years now on the sculpture walk.
Yes. This year is the 20th year.
And I was, I think I interviewed Jim Clark the first time he even wanted to talk about a sculpture walk. And it's like, okay, sure, this will be good. And man, what a success that's become. But it's so great that not only are we having art in the places we would expect, we're seeing it in places we wouldn't expect.
Yes, it is just so deeply ingrained in the community that you can't not see it in Sioux Falls, which is so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, you go to a coffee shop, you're going to see some local artist or photographer or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what Betty Kay is going to come up with on her own.
Me too, honestly.
First, though,
who knows what she's doing over here? I don't.
I have to ask you, though, after you talked about the broken foot injury.
Yeah.
You dance as well if you were in Greece, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's fun. I would say that's my weakest link, but I do it.
What's not in your skill set?
I can't. Okay, I want to say for the record, this pause is not because I'm not. I'm bad at a lot of things. Let me say that first. I think I have the same weakness lots of artists have, which is like, I'm doing what I love, so I'm going to do something all of the time and never, ever, ever take a break because I just love it so much. And then all of a sudden, you've gone 2.5 years and not ever taken a day off. So I would say pacing myself is something I'm not good at.
Well, but it's something you're obviously working, like you just said, working on it. That's always a good thing to keep going and find out, hey, this might be a challenge right now, but 5 years from now, I'll maybe look back and say, that was nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you've got a lot of great things happening for you then.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's. I'm really looking forward to watching the career of Betty Kay. Not just the next show that you're in, and so forth, but I also want to know then what's in the mind right now, spinning around that you might produce. That you might come up with that, do things on your own.
I have a really soft spot in my heart and soul for children's theater. When I was growing up, when I was in high school, I was the artistic director and youth coordinator for my community theater back in Iowa.
Right.
And so I put on I think 3 or 4 summer camps with them, and that was just a blast. It's chaotic and crazy and so much work it's not even funny, but it's so rewarding. And I would love to do a children's theater. I would love to put together a show like that. And I worked with Sarah on Place for a Living with DAPA.
As did I many years ago.
Yeah. I would love to do that again. And I know if I said, hey, Sarah, hey, girl, let's talk, she'd be like, let's talk. So I might, Sarah, if you're listening, I might message you about this later. But yeah, I think I would love to do that. I think that would be if I were to produce anything, it would be that.
What about writing?
Recently, I don't know if you know what NaNoWriMo is, National Novel Writing Month. Yes, I finished a novel during NaNoWriMo.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just as shocked as you are. I didn't think I was going to do it.
I was just throwing out, maybe she can do a one-act play, right? Something like that, being premieres, but...
So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I feel I'm very happy I did it. I mean, I was really stressed about it. I went into it like, whatever I write, it just matters that I'm writing. That's all that matters.
I got to change that logo then. Actor, singer, author.
Well, it's not published yet. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with it. It's just sitting in my Google Drive, just mocking me. But
send it somewhere.
I will.
Good
I will.
Lord.
I'll bother everybody that I know about it. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. But I would love to write. I mean,
can we tell what the plot is at all?
Yeah, it's nothing to do with theater. It's just a fantasy novel about this it's typical, right? Like this girl who discovers she has magical powers and tries to use them for good in the world. It's so boring. It's so boring. But it was fun to write, and it was good. It was good to write. It was good to write. Do you write? You write, don't you?
Funny you should mention. I am in the process of just starting to co-write with a local author.
That is so cool. Can you spill any of the deets?
It's Emerson Park is her name, and she's got 3 books out already.
Yeah.
And I've had her on to talk about those quite often, and she's a riot to be around. And I've always been, for the past 10, 15 years probably saying, it's going to go in my book. And I've actually got 4 different books that I want to write.
Yeah.
One kind of a memoir of growing up in a small Iowa town.
Yeah. Where did you grow up?
Rock Rapids.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hop, skip, and a jump from
Yes, it is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so it's going to be a memoir called Of the River and the Railroad.
I love that.
Because they have a river there, and my house that I grew up in was just a block away from the river.
Oh, my gosh.
And the railroad bridge that went across it, and lots of shenanigans. But it's going to be kind of like a vignette. Each chapter will be a vignette of all those characters you find in small towns wherever you've lived in a small town.
And there are a lot of them.
Yeah, you're going to have the businessman, you're going to have the town drunk, you're going to have the comic, and all of those. And so it's just, that'll be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So that's one of them.
I love it.
Then I also have My Name's Not Emmett.
I love that.
And ironically, I did end up being a professional clown for a while. So it worked out well.
I bet you were super good at that.
Thank you.
Yes.
I did quite well.
Good. Yeah.
But it was funny. When I was 4 years old, I think is how the story goes. And that was a long time ago, so it would have been 1966 going into 67. And before people wore seat belts, and they had a front seat that went all the way across the car.
Yeah.
My father was driving. My sister, who is 12 years older, was in the passenger side, and I'm standing up in the middle.
Oh, my gosh.
Dad takes a sharp turn, and I fall into him, and he says, "Damn it, sit down." And I start to cry and say, "My name's not Emmett, it's David." Yeah, and my sister goes, "See?"
That's so good.
And then another one I want to write is about my battle with depression and diabetes, and it's going to be called I Cry Over Spilled Milk.
That's good.
A major thing happens in life, we move on.
Yep.
But, there's that time, one small thing that you do wrong during the day, and you just yell at yourself and so forth. So, yeah. So lots of stuff.
So
but in
fun.
terms of what's coming out, let's just say it's going to have the voice of a male, the voice of a female. And rom-com is in there in a very interesting way, an interesting twist.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'll say publicly.
I can't wait to read it. I can't wait. How fun.
Yeah. So looking forward to that.
Yes.
But I would love to read what you've written.
Oh man. Well, we'll see.
Oh, come on. How about playwriting then? You thought of that?
I have. My problem is I'm a sucker for details. So I'll I'll have like a line, and then like 3 pages of stage directions, and then I'm like, this isn't a play anymore. I'm writing a book.
Right. You're not allowing the director to direct.
Yes. I do. One of my students who I worked with back in Iowa, she actually just finished writing a show, and her school is producing it.
Oh wow,
for the
that's
spring.
awesome.
Yeah. So
that's great.
Yeah. But I don't know. I would love to write something. I just need to know better how to do it in a play form.
How
anyway,
to take care of those 75 lines of stage direction.
Exactly. Turn to your left 45 degrees, and then anyway.
What do you love about theater?
Oh gosh, I feel like every time I talk about theater, I'm like, it's just so beautiful and magical, and it's like the most stereotypical answer ever. But what I love about theater is that it's the honesty of telling a story. It's just that simple, and it feels like the purest form of communication, right? It's just like, you are sitting here and I'm telling you a story, and that's it. And whether it's a happy story, whether it's super sad, whether it makes you feel angry, right? The point is that you are actively being moved by the story that I'm telling you, and that's what I think really draws me to singing and dancing and acting and writing, is just that there are so many stories to tell, and I just want to tell them all. I want to tell every single one of them.
and I can't wait till you text me when you do those.
I will, Dave.
All right. Always like to end with 2 questions. Sometimes the answer to the first negates having to ask the second one.
Okay.
All right. So when you are not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
Oh, man. I play Dungeons and Dragons.
Another D&D-er, huh? I'm not, but...
you would be so good at Dungeons & Dragons, Dave. You would be so good at it. Yes, but I'm a big old nerd, and that's... and I love it. It's so fun. And I am also an avid reader. I read a lot of books.
Favorite author?
A lot of books. I have a tattoo on my back of the book I learned how to read on, which is The Girl Who Could Fly by Victoria Forrester. And it's one of my favorite books. It's super simple, short read, but it was kind of the book that I fell in love with storytelling with. And here we are.
Nice. All right, so any other hobbies?
Yeah, I'm just a big old nerd. I read, I play D&D. What else do I do? I mean, that's pretty much it. Oh, I have a cat. I love my cat. Those are my hobbies.
All right.
My cat is one of my hobbies.
I know the feeling because I work here at home, and she only gets 4 cans of food a day when most other kittens get 1 can a day.
Spoiled. Yeah. I love spoiled cats.
She's daddy's girl too.
Run the house. My cat went to college with me, and so it was just me and him for a while. We were just buddies hanging out, and he was so sick of me. He was like, "Can you stop talking to me every day? I'm so sick of you." Oh man.
I think that's the play you're going to write.
Yeah.
The cat that told me to shut up.
Exactly.
All right. Well, it's been such a great time getting to know you even more, Betty Kay.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, and looking forward to many more returns.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. And we'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Comedy magician and hypnotist Jesse Moffat's right. He can't play the piano, but he can sure entertain crowds with his amazing magic and clever quips. His shows always make the participants the stars, especially when they've fallen asleep on stage. They've been hypnotized. Are you the party planner in your group? Then you owe it to your group to make the event magical, even if it puts you to sleep. Here's how.
For booking information, go to Jesse Moffitt Entertainment on Facebook. That's JESSEMOFFITT. Or call 605-929-0964.
Check out the new ceramic studio in Sioux Falls, conveniently located off Kiwanis Avenue on 5th Street. TJS Ceramics. Bisques, studio time, or finished custom items are available. Visit TJS Ceramics Studio in Sioux Falls today.
Support the Dave Holly Hour in a very easy way. Buy Dave a cup of coffee by clicking the cup at davehollyhour.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, yes, you know it. It just spills right out of my mouth right at the beginning of every conversation now, doesn't it? It's always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment. Always a pleasure to have new people on the show, and it's even more fun when it's a couple that they get to have on together. Yes, they're married. They even got a little one. It's Autumn and Logan Leavitt. Hello, how are we?
Good, how are you?
Glad to hear that. I'm doing well. And yourself, Logan?
Oh, doing all right.
Good deal. Good to hear that, yes. So let's see. Have you been busy with anything lately?
Oh, have we been busy with anything lately?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Got a bunch of stuff going on. We got theater-wise, I'm in a show right now, and then not theater-wise, a child just
right, and a new home too.
Yes, and a new home. Yes,
so that's a lot of stuff going on then.
Yes.
All right. So let's see. I think Autumn. I think I saw you first at MCAP, and you were the Southern belle that was the beauty queen.
I sure was.
Yes, you were, and a smashing one at that, I might add.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, thanks to Cindy Baki with the costumes.
Oh, she does a great job, doesn't she?
She does.
Yeah. And what was fun about that part then?
Oh, gosh. Probably being Southern. I feel like it's one of my favorite accents to do as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was just kind of fun to play like that ditzy but also smart as can be.
She was a little conniving.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had something going on that was like, watch out at the end of this one, right?
Yep. Definitely drugged both sides of the team to get her way. So.
What got you into theater?
Oh gosh, I've been acting since like 5th grade.
Wow.
I believe. I went to Eugene Field Elementary School.
Okay.
So back then we had a really cool music/drama person who would run a Disney themed musical every year.
Okay.
So I think my first one there was The Little Mermaid. And I played one of the Mer sisters. So after that role, it kind of just was like, okay, I can keep going with this. And then I got into cosplay and did SuperCon and then went back into theater.
Well, I would say with Little Mermaid that you got your feet wet, but it'd be more appropriate to say you got your flipper wet.
Yeah, my fins, yeah.
Yes, you two do a lot of cosplay, and we'll talk about that in a little bit too then. Yes. So, Logan, tell us what got you into theater then?
Oh, I started doing theater about 8 years ago. I started with the Mighty Corson Art Players theater there. They were actually the first theater I ever worked with, was the first show I was ever in there, the Thornton Wilder 1X that they did. And since then, it just got me hooked. So I just kept going back for auditions, and then I was still pretty young for all that, so there was not a lot of roles for a sophomore in high school.
Right.
So I then jumped into tech and stage managing, and then slowly into assistant directing and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Besides being an actor, you do the directing as well.
Yes.
And you've got one coming up, the
do.
Christmas show, correct?
Yes.
Tell us about that. What's that going to entail?
Oh, it's Those Crazy Ladies in the House on the Corner. It's the Christmas show for the Mighty Corson Art Players. It's really about kind of what the name of the show entails. It's 3 crazy ladies that live on a house on a corner, and basically think of your favorite episode of the Golden Girls that you haven't seen yet. That's kind of this show
with a holiday theme.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It runs through both Halloween and Christmas throughout the show.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. I enjoy that type of stuff anyway. So let's see. How did you two end up meeting then?
Oh gosh, we met back in 2019.
Okay.
At the Mighty Corson Art Players.
I was doing the Ken Ludwig's The Games of Foot. And I was previously married at the time. He was seeing someone, and throughout the years we kind of lost friendship, but then rekindled back in December 2021, a few months after like being divorced and everything. And then kind of just
it blossomed
happened.
from there.
Yeah,
she was doing makeup for Sleeping Indoors, and I was stage managing it.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of got us back together. Yeah.
All right. Have you acted together?
We have
We haven't acted yet, no.
No, we have not been in a show together.
So you've got that to go yet, and I'm assuming then that you also have to have Autumn be an actor under you as director.
Oh, dear. That would be something, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. And I bring that up because it's always interesting to see how the couples react. You know, if one has been a director and one has performed under them, then it's always that great question of, so what kind of director is he or she? You've obviously seen him direct then, Autumn. So when you watch his process, do you go, oh, yeah, I could do this?
Definitely.
And be in on this?
Yeah. He's pretty smooth for a director. He's kind of almost every director that I've seen in one. So definitely, if I had the chance, I would. So.
Wow. You married the right one. She gave you a lot of praise right there.
Hey. There we go.
What, Autumn, was the you talked about the mermaid already, but what was it that when you got a really big part one time you went, wow, this is what is so cool about being in theater?
There's probably 2 shows that really did it for me. It was probably one of my first shows I did with the Sioux Empire Community Theater, the fantastic Mr. Fox as the Mrs. Fox. So it wasn't a super big role. It was one of the named ones, but I think it was just like the experience and kind of coming back in to like more adult, because I had just graduated high school and was trying to explore other things, and then took another little bit of a break and then auditioned for the Mighty Chorus and Art Players in 2019 and landed in the 4-person show of Almost Maine and played about 7 different characters in there. So that was a lot of fun. Brian was really cool to work with, and so was everybody else. So really great experience, and would definitely recommend working with MCAP to anybody, really.
And working together, even though you haven't directed her and you haven't acted together, but you've been behind the scenes together in that regard. What's it like time-wise in terms of the dedication you both have to have toward a show?
Oh, I think I can speak for both of us when we say when we're working with a show, whether it be stage managing, acting, even just doing makeup, we kind of both just go head in, and it takes up all of our time, which makes it so much better when we're working together on a project, because then we get to actually see each other. Me working in this show with Old Town Dinner Theater right now, I feel like I haven't seen my wife in years. But
yes, another theater that you both are familiar with. Yes. So tell us what you're in right now.
I'm in The Fox on the Fairway right now. I play Justin in that, and it is a hilarious show. Absolutely hilarious show. I'd probably up there in, I'd say, my top 3 parts that I've ever been in. Justin is up there.
Can't wait for that.
Yes.
We're season ticket holders at both places, and it's always so fun to see what the smaller of the theaters in the area are able to produce and put on. And it's always great down at Old Town. They have never disappointed us in terms of a farce. And it's just the comedies that they bring and so forth. It's kind of a bread and butter, but it's a damn good bread and butter.
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure. John directing that one?
Yes, John is directing that one. And I do have to say, like, when it comes to a farce, when you're working with Aaron Sharp, he makes it funny. No matter he could be running a drama and a director say, hey, I need this to be funny, and he can find a way to make it funny. Yeah. I like to say you haven't acted until you've acted with Aaron Sharp. So there you go.
Well, the last one that I saw him in, I will always remember. Oh, let's see. You were in that, weren't you, Autumn?
Yes, I was.
Yes, and I can never forget, first of all, the fun character suit that he was in right after intermission. And then the scene with a box of cornflakes. I can't eat them ever again. That's for sure. But he does bring it on. That is for sure. The man's mighty talented. But it's always great to see how many people collaborate in so many different ways. Erin's been all around. You guys have been at different theaters now. Mm-hmm. And so there's this opportunity for everybody to find a place, isn't there?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, what do you tell, because you're, in terms of the people that are in town, you're relatively young yet in terms of your acting careers. But obviously there's younger than you that's starting up now. And what do you like to tell them?
Main thing I say is the first word in community theater is community. So just be out there. Mm-hmm. Don't just stick to one theater. Loyalty's great, but if we can build a community of all ages, you can put on anything. You can't get stopped if you have just this community in particular.
Right.
Yeah.
And Autumn, how about you then? When you see a young person come along, do you kind of go, I remember somebody took me under their wing. Maybe I can do the same?
Yeah, I definitely have that kind of like motherly aspect, even though I am a mom.
Yeah, no.
The way I was taken in by MCAP with Emily Sharp and just those friendly faces, I was kind of like taken underneath their wing, and I felt like I could really look up to them. So I kind of hope to be that kind of person to people who kind of are new to that theater community or to that theater in general.
Yeah, in fact, I think Erin and Emily were the first quote-unquote couple that I had on the show together, and that was prior to them tying the knot. Mm-hmm. But still, just to get the idea of how, well, first of all, the theater in itself is this huge family regardless.
Oh, yeah.
And then to see, who ends up they do become, quote-unquote, a real couple. Mm-hmm. And then to see how all the workings take place and so forth. But the play that we had referenced with Erin that you were in, the movie game.
Yep.
What was that like for you?
At first I was a little nervous. Not gonna lie, it was my first time with Old Town, and it was kind of like, I'm not sure, like Logan and I actually both auditioned together, so that was really fun to do. I think that was our first thing that we kind of auditioned for together in a while. And getting casted, I was expecting to be cast at like what role Abby Salvi had.
Right.
I wasn't expecting to be offered the really big lead role. So that was really shocking. And then throughout the whole process, it was kind of a little rocky start at first, and then basically kind of just melted all together, and had an injury like the last 3 weeks before show opening, so
That's
I was
right.
actually in a knee brace.
I had forgotten
the first
that part.
Weekend. So a very nice knee stabilizer, so I was kind of limping around. So I'm really glad people backstage would help me up and down the stairs and.
Always a good thing.
So I really appreciate
Take it
that.
from somebody that has no balance.
Yeah.
Logan, what's it like when you watch her on stage? And then we're coming back to you, Autumn, for the same question, vice versa.
Right. It's... When I see her on stage, I know that I'm looking at my wife, but it's definitely... She just embodies whatever character she's going to be. It's like I'm meeting a whole new person, but just how fantastic she is on stage. She doesn't give herself enough credit for how amazing she is on stage, and I'm not just saying that because she's sitting right next to me and I'm wearing a ring on my left hand. So, and I'd think that anyone on the street would say the same thing about her. She is one of those people that is a glue that can hold a show together. Definitely.
All right, Autumn, your turn then. When you see Logan on stage.
Well, I actually haven't seen Logan on stage until 2 nights ago, when me and Eloise actually joined to one of his rehearsals. And so it was kind of interesting to watch my husband on stage instead of the other way around. But overall, I was really surprised. He kind of just had this way of carrying his character almost kind of like the same way I do. So I'm kind of like, oh, you're looking up to me. Thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's doing really well in his role for Justin for Fox on the Fairway. So I'm really excited to see how it all starts flowing once scripts are out of hand and lines are memorized. So yeah.
How soon before off book?
Off book is end of next week.
Okay.
Yes. Which is fantastic because we will be leaving for Florida tomorrow.
That's
so
right.
for a week.
Yeah.
So I get to come back from our wonderful vacation to being off book.
Yeah. Are you flying or driving?
We're doing a little bit of both. We're
Okay.
driving to Minneapolis and then flying out of Minneapolis to Florida. So
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Any long layover anywhere?
Straight shot, yeah.
Oh wow, good for you.
Exactly.
So you can study your lines while on the plane, right?
If John is listening to this, yes, that is exactly what I'm doing.
All those well-intentioned things that we think of, oh, well, I'm going to have time to be able to do this. No, it doesn't work that way. But enjoy your vacation regardless.
Oh, yes,
That's awesome. What's been the most rewarding thing for you being involved in theater?
Oh gosh. Definitely inspiring others. I got told that a lot during the movie game.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like, wow, you were awesome. Like, you're definitely like somebody I want to like look up to, and kind of just however that's explained. But yeah, but otherwise, it's really rewarding. I can't wait till Eloise is a little bit older and she can kind of start understanding. And we're hoping that she's a theater kid. 'Cause she's a sports kid. I don't know where she's going.
I have the feeling she will.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about that. All right, Logan, so you're going to get it kind of double-barreled then. What's been the most rewarding part for you as an actor? And then follow it up with as a director.
As an actor, I would say the most rewarding is just seeing a bunch of people from all different backgrounds coming together to make one cohesive thing, being able to be part of something that's bigger than myself in that sense, to be performed for just hundreds of people, which is fantastic.
As a director, what do you bring?
As a director, I actually think that the most rewarding thing for me is not when I'm directing adults. It's when I'm directing kids camp. Being able to watch my direction be taken by the younger generation, and just how fast it clicks for them and how easy it is for them, because the way that we at MCAP run kids camp is they get 1 week to memorize a show, and just how fluid that comes for them, where directing adults we have so much more that we're doing, and it's hard to do all that for them. So,
but it's also probably a little different in the fact that, kids, it's primarily going to be your direction. But when you get up to the adult actors, then you've also got to be open to ideas from them too.
Yes.
And have you been thankful in your acting career when that has happened?
I would say so, yeah, definitely. In my acting career, with just being able to have moments where you get to play. Brian is a fantastic director when it comes to that, how he gives you the full structure of what he's gonna see, but then on the flip side of that, he also says, okay, play with this, let me see how this goes, because just because you're the director doesn't mean you're right. So yeah,
I understand John Bow was very much the same way.
Yes, absolutely.
Very open to suggestions and
very
so forth.
Open, very
all
open.
right, all of that tech stuff that you did before you got parts, does that make you a better director?
I think I wouldn't say a better director. I would say more well-rounded, because I know the things that are necessary all around to put a show together, where, say, if I only did directing, I wouldn't have the experience of, okay, what is my stage manager supposed to do? Or what is my backstage hand supposed to be able to do? and things like that. So,
All right.
yeah.
So the next thing that we're going to see you in is on stage down at Old Town.
Yes.
Fox in the Fairway. But then, how about you, Autumn? What's up next?
Oh, gosh.
Holding off for right now?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. But I know there's something you'll probably both be getting dressed up for.
Yeah, SuperCon.
SuperCon, coming up the end of September.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
What are we going to be this year? Or is that a secret?
I'm kind of keeping it on the DL.
Okay.
I'm hoping I can make it. It's just now that Eloise is here, unlike last year and the years prior. So, but I am trying to work on or with the idea of recreating the Broadway version's Ursula. So, kind of wanting to do the whole tentacles that come up, just kind of like how I did my Maleficent wings.
Right.
Which were very tedious.
Well, I know last year, when first I walked in, Logan's the first person I see. He says, well, I was over here too.
Yep.
And it took me a moment to go, oh, it's Logan.
Yep.
Because you guys look great. Yeah, and it's cosplay's really become a big, I don't want to call it a hobby. It's more like an avocation, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah. It's just kind of one of those things where I think it started off really small here in Sioux Falls. I believe SuperCon started with the Ramada, I believe.
Yes, yeah, I remember being out there.
And now they've basically outgrown the Denny Sanford, and
yeah, I know it.
It's amazing to see how many people come out for it every year, and it's definitely one of those things I wouldn't say a hobby, as you were talking about.
Yeah.
So,
well, just I'm thinking of the intricacy of people's costumes now. You know, you don't go out to cosplay, you don't go out to SuperCon here in town and see somebody that doesn't look good.
Right.
I mean, everybody looks great. And there's time put into it, there's thought put into it, and I'm assuming a little bit of time consideration getting into those costumes, too.
Oh, yeah. And it's a lot like theater, too. It's one big family as well, and everyone's there to help one another and not tear each other down. So, yeah.
What are you going as, Logan?
Oh, if I say it on here, that means I have to stick to it, don't I?
Yeah.
So this is actually going to be my first year that I'm doing it by myself. We're not doing a duo this year. And I'm thinking about doing Ernesto de la Cruz from Coco. So the skeletal bad guy from Coco. So
man, you guys
it's
take on some projects, don't you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we look forward to all of it. Look forward to SuperCon, seeing you there and cosplay, and then look forward to you being on stage again and then directing at the holiday time. And Autumn, whatever it is you do next, we look forward to that too.
Thank you.
In the meantime, I've seen you in action in the most important role you have. You're a mom.
Yeah.
And it's great. You've got a beautiful little daughter.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I know Santa Claus loves her.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is part of that team. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
that's for sure.
Yes.
Good old boots.
All right. I always have two questions that I like to ask at the end, but whatever you answer number one with might determine whether the second one has to be asked. So, Autumn, when you are not part of the arts and entertainment scene, what do you like to be entertained by?
Oh, gosh. I've always been known to be a huge Disney adult, so I preoccupy my time probably just showing Eloise the ropes and making her see the most important Disney movies, such as Tangled. So, yep.
All right. And any other hobbies then?
Oh gosh, besides the cosplay, in the theater, there's basically, I like to do sometimes like makeup on the side or like face painting. Otherwise, I used to do a lot of childcare.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
So you keep busy then.
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay, Logan, how about you then? When you're not part of the arts and entertainment, what do you like to be entertained by?
Oh, I am definitely one of the biggest D&D nerds that there is.
I have heard this.
Oh, yes. When I'm not on stage or working backstage, I'm creating little worlds in my head to have other nerds play in. So it's...
Well, and I get a kick out of it because you don't have a D&D game per se. You have sessions, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you have campaigns and...
Yes. I think my longest campaign lasted about 3.5 years. Yeah, so we played that for a while.
I can't remember 3.5 minutes ago. Do you got to remember all that stuff that you came up with for 3.5 years?
Oh, that's what I keep the players for. Make them take the notes. There we go.
Any other hobbies for you?
Oh, if you count being a dad as a hobby, I know I sure do. If you don't consider it work, then it's not work.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, good
hanging
for
out
you.
with my little girl, she's the best thing in the world. So
and the other girl too, right?
Oh yeah, I guess my wife's all right. I guess she's all right.
Autumn and Logan Leavitt, thank you so much. Appreciate first of all everything you do for the arts and entertainment community, but also thanks for taking the time to be on the show.
Of course.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment. Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails. Call for an appointment. 605-334-1463.
He's jazzed to the eyeballs. Once again, here's Dave Hawley. Crikey, mate.
Thanks again to all our guests, Tenley Schwartz, Autumn and Logan Leavitt, and Betty Kay. And of course, thank you for listening, downloading, as we are less than 200 away from 15K. Thanks as well for sharing and following on social media and those cups of coffee. If you haven't so far, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. For all 193 episodes, go online at davehollyhour.com. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Arts South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, my name is Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by TJS Ceramics Studio, Posh Boutique, The Sky and Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Jesse Moffitt Entertainment, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, simply buy Dave a cup of coffee. Go to davehollyhour.com and click on the coffee cup icon. Don't forget to stay up to date on the show by following on Instagram and Facebook. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.